Have you missed our Lord's invitation? Jesus says, I came so that you might have life and have it more abundantly. Are you living the abundant life? Our Lord has a plan that will allow every one of us to reach our potential for happiness in this life and for all eternity. The key to that plan is Jesus Christ himself. And for us to discover and live that plan, we must accept his invitation to put our total trust in him and invite him to be the Lord of our life. This is what we call conversion. God becomes the priority of our life as we ask for his guidance and protection in all things. In Paul's letter to the Romans, he says, all things work for the good for those who love God. Does that mean that if we love God as he commands us, that everything will be just as we hope it'll be? I believe it means that if God is our first priority and we communicate with him every day in our prayers, we will develop a relationship with him that will cause us to trust him in all things. Even when we undergo trials, we'll be confident that he's near to us and give us what we need, even if it is just at one moment at a time. When we are confronted with crises, we are often tempted to spend all of our energy focusing on the crisis, and in our imagination it becomes even bigger than reality, and we think of the worst possible consequence. Instead, we should focus on the crucifix and to call to mind the promises of our Lord. Among other things, he promises he will give us the grace we need when we need it. Throughout our lives, God has provided many circumstances and personal encounters that were invitations to open up our hearts so that he could enter and help us to discover the specific plan that he has for each of us. It's very possible to miss his invitation. By the time I was 38, I'm sure I had missed many opportunities to discover the plan that he had for me. But our Lord doesn't give up on us. One day a business associate asked me if Jesus was the Lord of my life. Of course, I've heard that phrase many times without giving it much thought. But on this occasion, I pondered the question, realizing that my life didn't reflect a living faith. I asked for the grace to make changes, and with the help of prayer, I began a process of conversion that set my life in a different direction. I know from my personal experience that life close to God is much better than living as if God doesn't exist. Every one of us has 24 hours each day, and how we use that time has a great deal to do with our proximity to the kingdom of heaven. I've heard people say they don't have time to pray. Well, what is it we do that we think we can do without God's help? It is his love that allows us to take our next breath. It is said no prayer means no faith, because prayer is our connection to God, and without faith we have no hope. If you have not yet made Jesus the Lord of your life, expect him to pursue you with circumstances and relationships that will be invitations for you to open up your heart to him, so that he can reveal to you the special plan that will lead you to your greatest potential for happiness in this life and for all eternity. This is not complicated. If you have this desire in your heart, our Lord will guide you to himself by what he's revealed through the church and through the scriptures. It's also helpful to be connected to someone who also wants to be faithful. Do not miss your invitation. God has a great plan for you.